Good morning. Happy freaking Monday. I'm Ben Frisch with bfresh.media, and this is your weekly wake-up call to kick your marketing out of bed. This morning, I want to talk about the new Nike spot that was just dropped last week featuring Colin Kaepernick, and I want to talk about why it is so amazing and will do great things for Nike and go down as one that we all remember. Okay, so in case you've been living under a rock for the last 2 years, Colin Kaepernick is the NFL quarterback who was protesting inequality and injustice against people of color in the United States by sitting or kneeling during the national anthem at NFL games. So obviously, right off the top, it became a very contentious issue. It really kind of divided a lot of fans and non-fans. So people who don't even watch football were weighing in on this issue. And there's two sides to it, really. People were it was getting very heated. And Colin Kaepernick, who's no longer an NFL player at this point in 2018, is taking legal action against the NFL and the owners for collusion for not hiring him back. So he's someone who is, by some, a hero, and then by others, he's a disgraced athlete for taking a stand. Now, the new spot, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's amazing. 2 minutes long. And what's interesting is, first off, it's not all about Colin Kaepernick. In traditional Nike form, it's just a very inspirational spot that really just kind of hints on his story. He narrates it throughout. And one of the biggest quotes, the takeaway that a lot of news media are running with, is his quote, "Believe in something, even if it means risking everything." So, what's great about that in context, him speaking that quote, really has some power behind it. But it's also, it could be very broad in terms of just sport in general, right? But it's coming from Colin Kaepernick. So Nike's obviously making a point, making a stand that they are with him and his fight for inequality and injustice. And to me, that's amazing. I've often said that we want to avoid controversy and we want to avoid offending people. But Nike here took that risk. And it was a calculated risk for sure. Like, they had to have known they were going to upset people. There was going to be some backlash. But they are, for one, having an exceptional year. Their stock is up way over last year. So it wasn't like it was a last ditch effort to just stir the pot. It was very calculated. And I want to talk about the timing of that spot. So I think that's one of the reasons why this is working well for Nike. There's a couple things with regards to timing, and I think I'll keep coming back to it because a lot of it has to do with the timing. Not only from the Colin Kaepernick story, so he's just starting to take legal action right now. So his name is back in the media and really going to be someone that everyone knows who he is. On top of that, it was the NFL kickoff of their season that was also just so amazing with their timing, is that everyone's talking about NFL. A lot of people are talking about Colin Kaepernick, and here comes Nike with their spot that's talking about both of them. And that's what is so amazing about the timing of the spot. Now, again, controversy is something that a lot of brands do and should try to avoid. But let's talk about sort of their calculated risk here, in that, again, it's an up year for Nike. They don't have anything to prove. This spot was also the 30th anniversary of their Just Do It campaign. So they wanted to make an impact. They wanted to get people talking. And I think what's really important about this spot is that, brand advertising being typically, historically, a very cautious, even-keeled sort of approach, it's really sort of, going to my third slide, it's a reflection of the times that we live in. And I say that because, there's a lot of different movements going on. There's social, political movements from the Black Lives Matter to Me Too and everything in between. I think that Nike's point here is that, to counter the argument that Colin Kaepernick should shut up and play sports, Nike's saying no. There is no safe place there's no place that's off limits from making a statement. And that's the world that we live in. We've got music artists, we've got performers, we have anyone with any type of platform trying to leverage that and make a statement about a lot of these different issues. And so that's, I think, why Nike was able to pull this off, because that's just the conversation that the country is having. So they're just joining in, and yes, they're taking a stand, and yes, they might alienate some of their base, but I think they knew that it wasn't enough to make a big impact. You see people burning their shoes, you see people cutting their socks, things like this. I think for those people to boycott Nike is going to be very difficult. It's such a big brand and it has such coverage that they're probably buying products and will continue to buy products that support Nike even without knowing it. So good luck. Nike knows this. They're not too concerned, and they're going to make their statement. And what a statement it was. So I think that this one will go down in history as one that people will talk about and remember for a very long time. It's going to be talked about for, quite a while, I think. I was just reading this morning, too, that, Nike sales, they're reporting, are up 31%, something like that. So to those people who thought that Nike's done, I think the president was quoted saying something similar, or that there was they were getting hammered by boycotts, I think was something like that. The numbers speak for themselves. So, good for you, Nike. I support that. I support Colin Kaepernick. I think that he's doing the right thing. I think Nike's doing the right thing. And the last thing I want to say about this is I think that I hope other big brands follow suit. I think, by Nike showing that it is okay for brands to take a side, to make a statement like this, I think we're going to see more of that. And I think that's a good thing. Because as I said, there is no platform that is off limits, as we've seen. So get ready for more brand advertising that makes a political statement, just like this. So that's it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hopefully there's no real blowback from my stance on this, but I'd love to hear your comments. I mean, what do you think? Colin Kaepernick, disgraced or hero? Nike, are you boycotting? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. So until next week, have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday morning, bright and early. Take it easy.